Emergency podcast.
Woo, woo.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Just made it back to our house right after leaving Hayward Field. Absolutely insane night of track and field action, and we're ready to recap it on Champs Chats, presented by Tracksmith Running. Tracksmith is the proud presenting sponsor of all our World Championship coverage. They are master storytellers when it comes to the roads, the track, the marathons, and they're behind us for all of our coverage of the World Championships, whether it's this show, the daily show that we do in between the morning and evening sessions. And their clothing is fantastic. We've got some of it right
so
there.
Nice.
You're
Look at
rocking
this.
some
This is
of
my
it.
new favorite shirt.
And
good on you.
I love
It
their
fits me
Twilight
really well.
kits.
I didn't know if I should go small or medium, but I went small.
And it looks
What
good.
you were saying?
Yeah. What I was saying was that right now our listeners get 20% off for the next 2 days. The time is running out for you guys to use promo code WORLDS at checkout. That's WORLDS at checkout at tracksmith.com for 20% off. Get your hands on all of their gear ahead of the marathon season. So check them out at tracksmith.com. They're doing a fantastic job supporting us and also supporting Malcolm Gladwell's Legacy of Speed podcast, which you can find on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all your wherever you get your favorite shows. All right, let's get right into it.
Smash
Track
that
Nerds.
like button. Smash that like button
Smash
so
that like
those
button
know that
right
we're
now.
live. Algorithm. All right. What?
Okay.
Dude,
Okay, we gotta let Caitlin get this out because she
Go
was
on.
yelling
Dude.
the entire way
Monologue.
back
Dude.
about what just happened.
I'm sorry, every track fan that saw me come out the stadium. Yes, I'm a lunatic. No, I do not care. Oh my God, I've only ever seen 2 world records in person. Both of them were Sydney McLaughlin, and this was the wildest one I've ever seen. Because the first time she ran like a 51.4, and I was like, oh, she ran 51.4. Because you expect her to do
And
it.
she gave the little thumbs up.
She gave it. I was like, oh,
No Instagram post.
No Instagram
No
post.
post.
And dude, me and Jasmine literally watching, she before she gets to the 200, she has a lead. By the time she gets to like the
Broke the stagger the first hurdle.
yes, and then I'm sitting here looking like, dude, she's got like a 10-meter gap, like halfway into the final 200, and she just blows the daylights out of everyone. We look at the clock; it says 50.68, and I'm sorry. You guys can talk before I continue the whole time.
It's absolutely insane to me because that was the first time that one. Even with her being so tired, I know she's tired after running that. She still looked like she didn't even
Flawless.
like her face
Gorgeous.
flawless. How? I just want to know
Perfect.
how, Sydney. Please let me know how because I'd love to do that on the track one day. But the fact that this world record was a 51:41. She just broke it today running a 50:68.
Yeah, it's 0.7
Yes.
off of your own world record. 0.9 faster than any other woman in history.
She
Almost
would
a
have
whole
placed
second.
7th in the Open 400 today.
Jesus.
Easily top 2 world records by Sydney McLaughlin Caitlin has ever seen.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yes.
But
Easily.
all in all,
not two.
there was someone else in the media area who said like this is better than Bob Beamon.
I heard better than David Rudisha.
It is it was the perfect race. I mean, like I'm sure if you watch the race back, maybe she or her coach can find these little tiny flaws, but to the outside person, like it looked perfect, and that's exactly what Rudisha was in 2012.
So the thing about Sydney McLaughlin's record is I feel like that means she wasn't even trying previously, right? Like it was like I think she knew that today was it was like I'm going for it now.
Yeah.
And I think she must have had a little something left at the take earlier in the season because she has never gone out that aggressively before, and she didn't die. Like, she held on so well. I think her second 100, I heard, was like 11 point something.
That's insane. That's
Overheard.
And the thing, like, that people keep doing to put in perspective is, oh, she would have come in 7th in the flat final. I think even more amazing is she would have been 19th fastest in the world this year over 400.
Oh God.
Caitlin, we can still hear the crowd right now. We're
Literally
at our house.
screaming.
We're
Literally.
3 blocks away, and you could hear the crowd because they're probably doing the medal ceremony right now. Caitlin, you were saying like at this point you're more curious of which Sydney could run in a flat 400.
Oh God. I say she can break the world record in the Open 400.
No, really? Yeah?
No,
Yes,
I'm so serious
yes.
because
47 points.
yes, I don't know what it is.
I'll look it up. The
thing is though is that imagine she continues like you were saying when she's running her 51s, it's like it doesn't even look like she's trying, and this was the first time that you felt like she actually like balls to the wall, like this is the time to do it.
Like pushed herself.
Exactly. Now if she continues to do that, I firmly believe every track fan is on the same page. She can go 49, and if you can go 49 over hurdles, who knows what the hell you can do when they're not in front of you.
I was thinking about what we were talking about Rye Benjamin with Rye earlier today about the stride pattern and whatnot, and it seemed like on the back straightaway her stride was huge.
Huge.
Yeah.
I was counting
You had to
those
alternate.
steps.
Yeah, what we were
7 in between those hurdles, which is just
Not,
oh my
disgusting.
God,
So-
that's sick.
something that it's almost like looking back, this has been in the works for so long. I remember her running the hurdles purposely on the opposite leg.
Yes.
Like think like
The
2 years ago
practice
she
to
was doing
switch
that
it up.
because she knew that the time would come where she would have to run so fast where she'd be on both legs.
Alternating, yes. Which one? I think that speaks to her understanding the talent that she has.
Student of the
I
sport.
think that also the fact that we said she's been running 51s. I don't think she understood her potential until what meet was it that they had messed up the hurdles? Was that in New York?
in Nashville.
Nashville?
Or Memphis.
I think it
Memphis?
Yeah.
One of those meets
it was
where they had
one of the
messed
American
up.
Track League meets.
I think that's when she actually realized her potential just because of how fast she had ran that day. And so I think she knew, like, I could go balls to the wall and let's see what I can really, truly do on this track. Sick.
It's and a nice payday on top of it.
Yes.
She ends up earning $100,000 for the world record and $70,000 for the race.
That'll
I
be
heard-
nice for her honeymoon.
And
I
then
think
plus
New
on top of
Balance
that,
probably gives her something too.
Yeah, so probably a good bonus from her sponsor, New Balance. And
She's definitely gonna get a USATF grant now.
Got to.
Last night when we were talking about just like Noah's race transcending the track bubble, it's happening right now as well with Sydney's race. Like it is just everywhere, all over my Twitter timeline, and the column that I have dedicated to just outside of sports media. Sydney McLaughlin is just in a class of her own.
She was by
Said that.
herself.
Said
Like
that.
I wanted to kind of touch on because we did have the other two and they were in a race on their own. Sydney had took off. She was in a race of her own as soon as she passed that 200 mark after she had demolished that stagger. And then we have Famik and Delilah battling it out for second and third place.
I think we were told Femka.
Femka.
Like a real
Femka.
Yeah.
The thing is like when we were watching,
Got it.
like it's crazy because obviously like you want to keep all eyes on Sydney during this race because you don't know what she's gonna come across in. But me and Jazz tried our absolute best to pay attention to everything else that was going on behind her.
I'm honest, like, cause for me, Sydney's up there. My thing was I would look at the time and I'm watching Delilah and Femka.
Where did you go with that?
I don't know where I went with that.
Famik?
I don't know, guys. I don't know. But I was watching them battle it out, and it was really, they were going kind of balls to the wall on their own back there.
I don't want Delilah to get lost in this
No,
either,
no,
right?
yes.
Like,
Major appreciation to Delilah. 53-13 for season's best for bronze.
of course, season's
Yeah,
best. Where's your best
23-13.
season? Exactly.
She hasn't been around this entire
Hurt.
season. But can I also just give like a little shout out to her coach, Boogie Johnson, and his brother. Half the women in this race came from the two of those men. Delilah, Shamir, Britton, and Gianna are all a part of those two, even though both of them are not together. So two of them are in Arkansas. The other two are with Boogie. I think that speaks on them as coaches in the hurdles.
On top of that, so it was USA 1, 3, 4, 5.
Five.
We
Yep.
have to find a way to claim Femka Bowl.
Yes.
Yeah, how do we
Does she
claim
Go to
her?
school here or
Yeah,
something?
has she
Right.
ever like visited the U.S.?
Femka.
Put her on the team.
Now all of a sudden, you know what? She's here right now.
Can we trade for
She's
her?
ours. Who do we trade?
Oh my God.
We'll give him Chris.
Bye, Chris.
Bye, Chris.
They'll have great
Oh
coverage.
my God. No, it was insane to watch, like, because I when me and Jasmine did our predictions, obviously extremely biased. You wanted USA 1, 2, 3, but I said, if USA doesn't go 1, 2, 3, but I think 4 out of the top 5 is still pretty damn good. It was going to be Bull second and then Delilah third. And I only put Delilah third only because she didn't have as many races under her belt, but I was like, I know she's definitely in shape to get a medal on that podium.
So crazy.
So are we all on this? I'm trying to think if we're just still so excited about what happened.
Oh, yeah.
Can we even put in perspective yet? But when ranking the greatest world records of all time,
This has to be
This has to
number
be up there.
number
is it
one.
definitely number one? I don't know.
I feel like it should be, and even if this doesn't do it, whenever she runs 49, there's nothing that
Because
can do
the
that.
crazier part to this is that so maybe some of these other world records that are out there were set when athletes were in their late 20s or 30s. Sydney's 22.
I know.
We can't forget that.
So what else is she gonna do, Chris? What is she gonna do?
I think this is the point where we each look into the camera and like just plead to IOC to the IOC to
Sydney
be
on the
able
show?
to be able to, I mean there's that but also to have the IOC allow for the 400 hurdles double at the Paris Olympics
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
or
Mixed
the LA
gender.
Olympics. Like,
Oh.
I mean, if it can't be done for Paris, it needs to be done for LA. But yeah, I mean, because Sydney will still be on top of the world at that point. Now the question is, will she stick with the 400 hurdles that long? That's a long time. What's your?
She's
sort of
got to move
theory?
up to the 800.
It's
it's a
a
joke.
joke.
It's a joke.
Oh my God.
But my question is at what point do you get bored of breaking the world record? Because jeez Louise, what is this, 5?
My third world record, I was bored.
Oh
After
my God.
3.
Yeah, it took 3,
It-
and then
That just casual.
Oh,
Lauren
God.
said 3, and then I got bored of it, and so now he's retired doing podcasts.
So
A lot of
like,
people say the indoor 4x-mile is equivalent. to
Can
the
we-
400.
can we put Sydney
joke.
I mean, I've already
So wait, what do you think
I
she
think
splits?
that went over everyone's head.
I already got Sydney like as one of my goats or the goats, but like, can we officially put her on that list? And I'm asking because some of the things that we've been talking about
There's a
during this
goat
entire
list?
week,
Yeah,
the
on
goat.
list?
Don't put me on the spot. But a lot of things, especially when we're talking
Tomorrow.
about
Tomorrow, come back to the
I'll
show
come
with
back
the goat
with the
list.
goat list.
How many?
How many are in the goat list?
We'll put 5 on my goat
All right.
list.
That's more than Mount
You don't
Rushmore.
have to
but
rank
okay.
them either.
Okay, I won't rank them. I'll just put them on the list.
Right.
But the one thing that we were talking about with Maurice, and I think Michael Johnson too, was about consistently and like what really solidifies you as being a historical track and field person is having, you know, records and medals under your belt. And Sydney has just completely wiped the board with all of that. So whoever's got the official GOAT list besides mine, like, can we like officially like engrave her name on that? You've got the medals, you've got the records, you don't lose. So what else? Like,
I'm not even. This is bold, and now we're just theorizing things. I think if she wants to be the real GOAT, then she's got to go after the 400.
I
I think
agree.
she will.
I definitely agree with that.
And then it's no question. I think that's what we've seen in history: people who can do 2 events, and you know, we know she can run the 400.
Right.
Oh, we know
The
she
400
can.
hurdles is a very, very exciting event on both the men's and women's side right now. But to the casual sports fan on the outside looking in, lowering that 400-meter world record is something that's easily, you know, like you can explain it to someone like, oh, she just went out and ran 46 seconds for
It's
one
like,
lap.
Go out to your local high school.
Yeah,
track.
yeah. Like that's
Run
the
one lap.
the
That's a
dumbing
400.
it down as much as you can, but then blowing a person's mind. And I mean, you can also say today's would blow a person's mind.
How many hurdles could have been on that track and she still would have won?
That's a good question.
All
Tweet that.
every
Tweet
meter
that
could have
right
been.
now.
My phone's charging.
Okay.
Add 2 more.
Two
Maybe
more.
3.
Yeah, because she ends up winning by 1.2 seconds or something like
Yeah.
that. So maybe 2 more.
Like realistically, add 2 more and she still wins.
Yeah.
3.
Could she have fallen
we
and
gotta
still
race.
medaled?
I literally said that about the stadium. I was like, she could have fell, walked, did a backflip, cartwheel, whatever. She still would have won.
All
She
right.
didn't do the 360 tail grab that we had suggested.
I know.
I
What
wonder.
is she not listening to these
she
podcasts?
needs to start listening to these podcasts, man.
I just wonder how crazy Kentucky's going right now. You already know. Slight shout out. I mean, they've got 2.
Slight.
Just a little plug. No big deal.
They've got 2 world records with Kitty and with Sid, and Sid just accomplished the most wildest thing ever. I think Lexington is having the biggest party right now.
You think so? Like a Final Four-esque like parade is out in
Yeah,
the streets of
no,
Lexington?
most definitely. You know what? I'll call Coach Green after this and be like, "Yo, what's the plan?"
Yeah, Coach Green is probably here.
Right.
Go find him.
Literally.
All right, I'm actually gonna walk off the podcast and go find my coach.
All right. So the one thing I did appreciate too is that Sydney after the race was the first time that, you know, she didn't really stand up right away. Like you could tell that this race took a little bit out of her. In the same way, transition 400.
Ooh.
Shaunae Miller-Uibo also left it all out there to claim her first ever World Championship gold medal. In this race, it's just pure brilliance that, like, in 2019, I'll say it, she was robbed of this title
Yes.
by someone who then
Yeah.
later on gets popped for whereabouts failures, and you know, there's cloudy circumstances surrounding that athlete. And so I think this is a fantastic moment. Mac and I did a whole episode of Track Snacks in the lead up to the World Championships about just how Shaunae Miller-Uibo is just so brilliant at this event. And it's not even that. I mean, like, we talk about athletes like Sydney who can probably do multiple events, like Shaunae with the 200 and the 4 has some flexibility there. But masterclass today in the 400, 49.11, I think it was.
With the
to
green
win.
bust down.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Period.
What did you make of that race?
I mean, going in, I knew Shaunae was winning. I mean, I know Marlady's amazing. I know Cofield did some awesome stuff on the mixed 4x4 earlier this week, but I mean, Shaunae has just been, you know, destroying it. And I mean, she was going at it with Allison Felix, and you know, now that Allison Felix is gone, like all eyes are literally on Shaunae. And so, literally watching her when she took her first step, I'm like, I can already tell this is her race. And you know, Marlady and Cofield tried to keep up with her going into that 200, but Shaunae just pulled away, man.
The thing that I was just so amazed by, and I thought was like just a kind of a special moment. You had the Bahamas, the DR, and Barbados.
Yeah.
Yes, small islands.
Yes.
How cool is that?
That is pretty cool.
If that's
So
not the
cool.
World Championships like at its best, and just shout out to the smaller island countries for showing up with some serious talent and now leaving with some hardware.
Shout out to the islands. I thought this race was remarkable. I'm glad to see Shaunae back. My only thing was I do wish that the times were a little faster.
Yeah.
I was hoping to see some faster times today, but at the end of the day, Shaunae came out here and definitely killed it. This race was hers to win.
I'm seeing a couple of comments here in the YouTube chat. Have you guys heard any about this? About like the fact that Shaunae Miller-Uibo now with this world title is like kind of tapped out with the 400. I mean, she gets a guaranteed spot for next year, but wants to focus more on the 200. Have you ever seen her talk anything about this?
I haven't seen her talk about it, but I know that she was a beast at the 200 as well. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what she did. Allow the younger ones to come in and kind of swoop and try to make a name for themselves. But yeah,
Not only that, but this schedule doesn't allow for her to do that double.
No, yeah.
And
That's the
so
tricky
that
part.
was a big thing. a
That
while ago.
I think it would make sense for her. She's got her medal. She's done what she had her heart set on, and now it's let me fulfill the rest of my heart and get this 200 medal.
After watching that, I'm just thinking, like, what can she run for an 800?
Ooh.
You just want everyone in the 800.
Why do you want everyone to
Kyle?
run the 8, guys?
Is it so they can move up to the 15 and then from
Everyone
the 15
run
they go to the
8
5K?
now. We're all gonna be 5K runners by
You guys
the time
have clearly
Kyle's
never hung
done.
out with distance runners because that's every distance runner in the world is just like, well, what if you moved up?
Yeah.
Are you gonna ask Marvin Bracey
Yeah.
what he would run in an
Think
800?
of how
Yeah.
easy it would be for Shaunae to go out in 55.
Oh my
And then
gosh.
hold on for dear life.
Just hold
And
on
then
for
hold
60.
on.
You're
Hold
good.
on
Hold on
dear
for 60.
life.
Like it's so easy, Kyle. You do it.
I couldn't. I'm only a 157 guy.
I think we've seen some of the 4 girls try to transition over to the 8, and it doesn't work out too well.
All right. Should we touch on the men's 400? Michael Norman.
Oh.
What?
He's been in the gym, has he not?
Yes. Okay. Wait. What did we tweet when
The
being
gym
in the gym
works.
finally pays
It
off?
paid off.
Shout out to
I'm
David
so
Millie
happy.
for that quote.
If you go watch our videos on Twitter, we made predictions. I said Michael was
Oh,
going to win this
God.
400. We're on home turf. Karani ran a hell of a race. He definitely did not just want to
Yeah.
battle it out, but Michael had grit in that race, and he said, "I'm on my home turf. I'm not losing this." And
I'm sorry.
There's a B on my screen.
and there was a
Keep going.
beauty, bro.
Yeah.
But watching Karani compete. One thing is Karani's a competitor. He's a veteran. He's not new to this. He's true to this, and so
saying it.
you could see that he really wanted to win this race. But at the end of the day, Michael was on his home turf, and he just had a little bit more heart today.
So speaking of like our videos where we were like, making predictions, bro, I got yelled at because I picked Karani over Michael. They were like, stop it. But what happened the last 100? Karani and Michael were stride for stride. And if there was
You
like
were
an
And then Michael
wrong.
pulled off.
Okay, but still.
And then Michael pulled off.
You don't get credit for being not that wrong. You were wrong.
Okay, well, you guys were yelling at me like Michael was just going to absolutely blast him. That's not what happened.
I'm just gonna say all my winners won from everyone that I've picked. So
Yeah, whatever.
I should keep picking people, huh?
Calling shots.
It
I'm
is.
so confused why Caitlin's excited
so
that she got it
offended.
wrong.
Because I'm not that
She's
wrong.
so excited. I got it wrong, but I'm right.
You know what? I'm not talking no more.
So major kudos and applause to Karani James for the decade really holding it down in this event. Like honestly, maybe what we end up seeing is Karani James hasn't broken the world record in this race, but could Cindy McLaughlin hold this for 10 years? Absolutely, and she ends up being she's better than Karani James is in the 400, but yeah, she.
Look at the camera and say that to Karani.
We're gonna make this a clip.
Hot take.
Hot take from
Tag
Chris.
him. You won't.
And then we
You
had
probably
Matthew
won't.
Hudson Smith of Great Britain taking third for silver in 44.66. He's had he's put the first world. This is his second world championship bronze medal. So Matthew Hudson Smith putting it together, 2-time European champion. Now comes away with his second bronze.
And
Wade, it's just good to see Wade back.
Yeah,
I'm
I
so
was
glad.
I was very excited about
Yeah.
I'm
that.
so glad to see him back. Also, knowing that he's changed training groups, so he is now, I believe he's here on U.S. soil.
He
if I'm
is.
not to
Yep.
be mistaken.
Wait, he's changed since he was working with Noah.
Grandma.
He was working with Noah. For
No,
a
no,
bit,
no.
right?
I
Like
think he's
from
still
a
with
while.
Noah.
Like
Okay.
so, yeah, he's
Oh,
with
okay,
Noah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm talking about that transition from being
Right.
in South Africa to coming out here.
Mhm.
just to see that he's starting to come back and after having injury, and so I'm really excited to see how he progresses throughout the next few years with all these championships.
And we were giving shout outs to small islands. Shout out to Jonathan Jones from Barbados, because as we know, the women's 400 third place went to a Barbadian athlete. Never had a woman on the podium, but shout out to Jonathan Jones too, because they never had a man make the final. So even though he didn't make the podium,
That's
imagine
huge.
like seeing your teammate like go out and get a medal like minutes before you step on the track, and both of you are literally making history together.
He can move up to the 8.
He has run the 8.
Move 'em
That's
all
what I'm
up.
saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Speaking of people who can move up to the 8,
Shout out to the
he's
800.
very good at the 8.
And speaking of the 8, let's move into the women's 800 meter semifinals,
Ajay.
which
That
Ajay Wilson looked great in the
Did what she had to do.
She
had-
did what needed to be done.
She did.
She
But
looked good too.
overall a thing Mo with the easiest looking 158 I've ever
Yes.
seen.
Yeah.
Someone
That
jog.
was just.
Yeah.
It was so
Beautiful.
funny
Nice
because
rabbit.
the girl, do you have her name?
Oh,
is
you're-
that second in her
Ethiopia?
heat.
Yeah,
Yes.
so you guys wanted me to get this name right?
Yeah.
Deribe Welteje
Okay.
Deribe
okay.
or
Welteje.
Welteji.
Rotate
One of the two. It was not included in the video that I said I
Not
was going to
included.
watch.
Can we
He has
get-
an excuse to not
But
pronounce
Our
it right.
shout out to
Ethiopian
Hannah-
fans.
No,
in the
shout out
chat?
to Hannah Bornstein, who does a lot of work with Ethiopian athletes and is an avid listener of this podcast. Actually texted me, shout out Magic Boost class of 2021. She texted me some information about her. She said her first trip abroad in 2018, she won the World Junior. She came straight from the countryside to Finland, and then when she was settling back in Addis, I think she had some trouble adjusting the past few years, but I think she's got a better training situation right now. So that is the story on Welteji. So she's gonna be a contender, but not even that. Mary Mora, Keely Hodgkinson.
Yeah.
Mary Moore celebrating.
Yeah.
She was
Okay.
pumped.
This might be bad, but I did not know there were so many like great 800 runners in Great Britain.
Oh my
like
gosh.
every heat.
Now you can
Okay.
walk off the podcast.
Yeah,
No,
that's not good.
please
No.
walk off. Go.
No, don't go. Stay.
don't
go.
Because then
You
how are we gonna
stay.
make fun of you? You
We
gotta
have to make fun
stay.
of you. Go ahead. Continue.
No, it's just like usually you just don't see that many, and like
It's
every
fair.
single heat, I felt like I was watching like 2 of them at the same.
It started last year.
It felt like there was 10 of them out there. It was. I'm not gonna say it.
Nuts.
I'm gonna use
Nuts.
Oh man,
Bonkers.
I'm like, what? I don't know. Great Britain has got some depth.
I also want to say
No,
Natoya
you're-
looked good too.
Wait, hold on.
Toya
We're
did.
calling out Caitlin
I
for being
know.
wrong.
Uh-oh.
Not that many.
They do have depth and they are good at
They
it.
had a
but,
lot last year in the Olympic final.
but now they only have one moving on to the final, and that's Keely Hodgkinson. The
Oh well,
Olympic
they all
silver
look like they
medalist.
were running fast to me.
They are
Sorry.
very good.
They are.
It's been a long-standing debate of who
The
would
who
win
in the 4x8.
the U.S. 4x8
Oh, today it's
Great
or
settled.
the
Britain.
Great Britain. And I mean, after today,
Team USA.
Team USA
Okay.
for
Is it
sure.
even a
Or we all
Yeah.
the same place, all the same colors, yada yada.
Raven
yada.
had us biting our
We
nails.
won that
though.
war. We won that war.
Yada. Oh,
Raven, that was a quick heat.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
luckily, as soon as she crossed, I was like, that'll be fine on
Yeah,
top. Like, I feel
yeah,
good about
that's what
that.
we all said.
But-
Shout out to our production guy, Mac Fleet, who is running the polls on the YouTube chat right now.
New feature.
We had, new feature that we've implemented. Has Michael Norman been in the gym? 85% said yes,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
14% said no. You guys are wrong.
You
That out of the
14%.
62
Boo.
votes submitted. So,
Keep it running polls. That's fun.
when you were saying who would win in a 4x8,
Ask that question.
well, that's a relay. Let's talk about the 4x100 meter relays.
Man, that was a good. We are having some good leadways into these events.
Yeah.
Good job, Chris.
Can
It's like we got a
please-
nice dinner reservation to get to.
Can we please talk about that picture of TT and Jenna?
Okay, I need to talk about this. Can we
Wait,
go
what are we
right into
talking-
it?
What photo?
Okay,
Can you describe it?
So this
She's gonna
picture
describe it.
is, and Jenna's goated for this because she's done this to me before. All right, this is why she's such a freaking great third leg runner. So she really wanted to make sure that TT had that baton,
Use the other hand.
and so she used her other hand to make sure that she grabbed onto that baton. And one, to think to be on your toes in that moment to make sure that baton gets around at all costs is remarkable.
She literally
But
grabbed her wrist
I'm just
like
gonna
this.
say I gave her a lot of practice with that because, good lord, our handoffs were atrocious.
She
at
grabs
Oregon.
her wrist.
I mean,
grabs
grabs
her
her wrist
What?
literally and pushes that baton into it. We have pictures that are in our group chat
It's
if you go
either
look.
on
I
the
also
Instagram or
tweeted
the
them
group
as
chat or
well,
something.
Matt.
Yeah.
We have a group chat.
Man, I don't know. You're
it
not
the
in
gym?
it. You're actually not in it. So
There's
it's
always a
awkward.
smaller
Wow,
group
so that's
chat.
fascinating. Wow, like here, honestly, guys, like this is the analysis you come to CITIUS MAG for. Jasmine was on a relay team with
Yeah.
Jenna before, and like this is I don't know
She-
where else
she's-
we
You
heard
don't
this.
know though. You
So-
gotta know that she does that.
So you feel it. You can feel it. So sometimes when
How
someone
quick is
gets
that?
out too fast, this is what I'm gonna assume because Simika, I've been in TT's position. TT may have gotten out a little too fast for Jenna, but because Jenna has that 200 strength, she's really good at continuing to push through that exchange zone to keep the baton moving. And so she's out a little too far. She will grab and make sure she pushes the baton just to make sure it gets through.
Okay.
Great. That is fantastic. You guys look at that picture because it's remarkable. I've seen her do this plenty of times. I've felt her do it plenty of times.
Does anyone do that? That's like.
I've actually
Jenna-
there was a couple
There's-
of high school coaches that were like, I've got like a picture of like my high school kids doing this, and I'm like, wait, this is normal.
There's it's not a normal thing that should be taught. That is literally at an all cause. Like
All right. We have heard from.
That's a Justin Britton photo.
Justin Britton photo.
shout out to Justin Britton.
Wait, I don't see it.
But
We just got a text from RG3. It says, I just put out a video for
Yes.
Sydney. I hope you like it.
Oh,
So-
I
I
can't
can't
wait to
wait.
watch
We're a
it.
huge RG3 soundbite video analysis breakdown.
Yes. And then
fans.
along with Jenna, I just have to brag about Jenna. Like I love her so much.
We love
But
Jenna.
one thing that Jenna has definitely done, and so many people are starting to realize this, is she's kind of I posted a tweet about it as well. She's taken on this position of Allison Felix, where Allison Felix was known to be that second leg. She's a great second leg runner. Jenna is notorious for being third leg. So everyone was kind of questioning, what is the order going to end up being? Do we change anybody out? And to me, I don't care what they do, but they have to keep Jenna at third leg.
Do you think they change anyone out?
No.
If they do, it'll
No.
be one person to switch for Abby. But
No.
honestly, they can get a medal with that team. They don't have to change anything.
Absolutely not.
What was the full order?
It was Melissa to Aaliyah to Jenna to TT.
Oh, that's a great team.
Yeah.
It's an amazing.
Yeah, and TT jogged it in.
I like having the same prelim and final team in a
Same.
4x1. It's like practice.
It gives
Goated.
them practice, and I think that it needs to be the same.
All right, the men though.
The men.
Men,
They look-
fantastic.
They
They're not
looked
gonna be the
great.
same.
37-87
Yes.
world leading time. So good.
People. So I know.
Noah Lyles is on it like less than 24 hours after his 200-meter win.
Yeah.
I saw him at a press conference this morning, and it's like,
They
oh,
went
dude, you
crazy
should be
for him when he
talking.
walked
Right.
out.
Yeah,
No, you're
I'm
surprised?
surprised. Well,
No. You
Tell me
cannot
why.
be surprised because Noah is a 200 runner. So for the 4x1, you want your best 200 runner to be at second leg because it technically is the longest leg. And so because Noah has that 200 strength, he's going to be at second leg.
But this is the only reason why I'd say I'm a little surprised. He ran such a great curve last night.
I wouldn't have put him on the curve.
But
And then, so yeah,
you've got Christian Coleman, who's a great starter. So Noah can't
No.
be first. But that third, that would probably be the only
Elijah.
other place that I put him. But they put Elijah Hall, who still ran an excellent curve.
will
I
he
would've-
be the final. Do you think that same order, same team, everything in the final?
With Fred being out, yeah.
I think so, yeah. But the only reason I'm like surprised is because I'm very used to seeing Noah like run fourth, and like I have no issue with him being second. Like I mean, after breaking the American record, it makes sense to put you second. But as long as I've been watching Noah on 4x1 relays, like my immediate picture is just like
The American record.
I know
That was no surprise to me.
Yeah.
I think that Team USA, they know what they're doing in the relays. They've got great. They do
Wait.
right now
Okay.
right now this year.
I'm gonna wait like a day or two, and I'll
Well,
tell you.
they know what order to put it in. I have faith that they'd be smart enough to keep him at that second leg. I think that's our best option for second leg out of the men that we do have on that relay.
I will say though, I was worried that they were going to get DQ'd when
Same.
Marvin cracked a beer and chugged it.
Same. Just
How cool was
cracked
that
it open and
celebration?
just.
Wait, I didn't see this.
You
I
didn't
didn't
see
see
a
that
celebration?
I was
either.
sitting in the stand.
No.
Oh.
When was this?
No, we can't play it. But what did he do?
While still running in the final meters, he held up the baton, like did a motion of a crack, and chug.
Wait, you
I
can get
love
DQ'd
Marvin.
for that?
No, it was a joke.
No.
Oh.
I love Marvin.
Jokey
It's a joke.
joke.
It's a
Jokey joke.
joke.
But I did have a little scare. I'm not even gonna lie.
I actually did get to see Marvin as he was walking down towards the mix zone, and I yelled at him, "Marvin, whose house is this?" And he says, "Our house." Our fucking house. And I was like, I love that energy. But then, of course, he got it from the other guys in the group chat on Twitter, where I think like Will London said like Marvin looks like he's bitten a couple people, and then he retweeted my video and he says, "Look at him, just showing his canines."
Oh my god.
So, all right, just going back for a moment, this final team, it's missing someone.
Fred?
Yeah.
Trey.
Trey.
Oh yeah.
My
will come in.
fiance.
Now, if he was going to be third, I would think they'd want him to run the prelim.
I think it'd be.
to
Would he be
so
second?
maybe would he be first?
or
You think Max nodding because the first leg is the easiest one to exchange.
Hold on, let me think. Okay,
But then
we've
it's
got
like, then you don't
Christian.
we have a relay medalist here.
Name me the people. It's Christian.
It was Christian to Noah to Elijah to Marvin.
Elijah's the guy who gets swapped out in this.
So you put Trey third.
No. But then you play with the order maybe.
Why would you play with the order after?
I don't know.
Like,
I might
feel like you
just
would've
replace-
kept-
Can you switch Marvin and Trey
Where do you put Marvin?
on third, right?
No, we've had this conversation with Marvin. He is. We not putting him.
You put him first. You either don't run Trayvon or you put Trayvon first.
I think Marvin's a hell of a starter. So is Christian. So is Trey. It's kind of an awkward situation with Fred being out, right? For me, my thoughts would be third leg. If I had to put anybody there.
You can't say Noah. You already told me no.
Yeah, no. Noah would, out of those three, Noah definitely would remain second.
Okay.
He's the 200 runner out of all three of them. I think I'd probably have to say I'm scared to put Trayvon at anchor. I mean at
Really?
third leg. Just because it's a curb. But I know Trayvon can run the hell out of a curb. So I might put Trayvon, just replace him with Elijah and put him at third.
That's a good team. I'm confused in why I wouldn't run the prelim, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out.
All right, to close this podcast out, I think we're going to do Hayward Magic Moment of the Day. How many of you would pick
Sydney.
Sydney? But I would pick Kara Winger in the javelin.
Yes, thank you. That is
we almost
okay.
ended
You
the
guys,
I planned it all
again,
along. Yeah, I
we
planned that.
we have to talk about this because
Everyone follow Hayward Magic on Instagram. They're the Instagram home for the track and field diehards, the dreamers, the biggest fans. Check them out at Hayward Magic. Jasmine, back to you.
back to me. Now, Kara, my girl, I'm so proud of her. She is retiring this year. So for her to
Final
make it
throw.
onto this team was already just amazing, right? And so we're watching her throughout this competition. She moves up into fourth, and she's battling it out. She drops down to fifth. She drops down to sixth. She comes back up. And then on this final throw, her last throw of her career, she just throws one out there and gets to leave with a whole medal
leaves it
to
out.
end her career.
That's sort of like what reminds me. This is gonna be an awful analogy. Like when someone gets into like a car accident or something like that, or there's like a, someone trapped under a car, and someone finds like the strength to lift up that car. Like
Yeah.
it's just like the adrenaline and all the feelings and emotions. Like you're just in that moment. Like that's sort of like I would imagine what it's like to just the final throw of your world championship and in like this long career you've had with medals on the line. You're just throwing everything you've got.
I have an even worse comment to end the podcast. on.
Okay.
Oh
Oh
god.
gosh.
hear me out.
I don't know if I want to.
I'm ready.
Javelin, but with a little defense. If you want to get out in that field and try to block.
Oh wait, Mag,
Are you-
Mag and I?
If you want to block
Okay.
them,
Yeah, wait. This is the three of us. Like, we cannot be put in charge of the javelin because
You're gonna kill
just
somebody.
only final throw. Final throw only. If you're in medal position, you're allowed to go out and try to block people.
What kind of madness?
Mag and I had a crazier idea where it was like with the javelin, like all the throwers, they usually hang around like right behind the throwing area. That's not allowed anymore. We're gonna do away with that. We're gonna put all the competitors out on the field.
You have to stand.
And you have to pick a spot for each one of your competitors, so you are putting your life at risk.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
The podcast is over.
We
We're
gotta
done.
end the podcast
No,
here, guys.
no, we're
You
done.
cannot move once like the next person's about to throw.
The
So-
podcast is
so
over.
Wait, can
we're
we
down
not
to, like,
end on such a dark, like,
No,
what
it
is
gets worse.
happening?
I think that there should be
What?
fans in the first 50 meters of the field.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
You know, officials have literally been stabbed. With
I am
The fans'
so
turn.
sorry.
It took day 8 for us to
Track
be
nerds, I'm sorry.
sleep
No
deprived.
bad ideas. No bad ideas.
No bad ideas. You know what? Vin Lanana.
let's pitch this to Sebco.
Vin Lanana has one of those morning walks tomorrow at
6:45,
6:45.
we're going to-
there, and we'll bring our own javelins.
Let us,
demonstrate.
let us show you. Go stand over there.
All right.
Are you kidding me?
Shut it down, Max. Shut it
We
down.
gotta shut
Alright,
this one
Mac,
down
cut
before it
the
gets a little
cameras, cut the
crazy.
cameras.
That's been another episode of Champs Chats. We're just running high on energy. Oh
Don't you have a
man.
dinner reservation to get to?
There's that too. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for CITIUS MAG live at Worlds. We'll be going live around 1 p.m. ish. So stay tuned for our lineup of guests, and be sure to subscribe to Champs Chats on the CITIUS MAG podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify to take this conversation on the go. We'll see you again tomorrow, track nerds. I love
Bye,
track and
guys.
field.
I
Love it. Love it.